Welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. This is the second episode in our Watch It Played series for the Lord of the Rings, the living card game. If you missed the first episode, no skipping ahead. Go back and watch it. Then come back and join us because we're about to set up the scenario for our first game. So the first thing we have to do is choose a scenario. The core set comes with 3 different scenarios. You can go in the rule book and see them listed here. We're going to choose the first scenario, Passage Through Mirkwood. Each scenario is rated with a difficulty level, and this one has a difficulty level of 1. Should be easy, right? Next, we need to create our quest deck. We're going to find all the quest cards that match the name of our scenario, and we're going to have to put them all in order from 1 to 3. You'll notice here that we actually have 2 cards that have the number 3 on them, and that's just because once you complete the second stage of the quest, you're going to have to randomly choose one of these 2, so you're never quite sure exactly what your objective is going to be at the end of this particular scenario. Make sure again that you have them on the A side of the card. Remember, these are 2-sided cards and there's a B side, and you want the A side face up when you begin the game. Next, we're going to want to build our encounter deck. Well, we don't want to, but the game makes us. And so you have to look at the icons here on your quest deck and find all the encounter cards that match that symbol. So you can see I found the 3 encounter card sets that match the symbols found on our quest card. What I have to do next is put these 3 sets together, like so. Now before we shuffle up that encounter deck, we're going to want to look again at our quest deck because there are some setup instructions right down here. And it says we're going to need to search the encounter deck for 1 copy of the Forest Spider and 1 copy of the Old Forest Road and add them to the staging area, and then shuffle the encounter deck. So we'll grab our encounter deck and look for those 2 cards, and hey, what do you know, they're right on top from where I put them. Okay, so we're going to take those out of the encounter deck, and now we're going to place them in the playing area. More specifically, they go in an area called the staging area, and it's just to the left of the quest deck. Now, in the instructions, you'll notice they indicate to lay the cards like this. That's so if you have 2 players sitting across from each other, they're both going to have an equally hard time reading the cards. But since there's only one of us, we'll just turn the cards this way so they're easier to read. Has the same effect. Once you get all your encounter cards in a single deck, you're going to want to give it a good shuffle. Whoa! Okay, that's not what I meant. Just give me a second. I'm going to go off camera and do this again. Okay, so now our encounter deck is put back together and it's being shuffled properly. See, I can shuffle. When you're done with that, you place the encounter deck just to the right of your quest deck. So now we have an important decision. Which of our 4 decks are we going to take on this adventure? Now don't worry, I'm equally bad with all of them, but I think I'm going to choose the Tactics deck. If you're an experienced player, you may be watching this thinking, why are you taking the Tactics deck on this adventure? You'll lose. Well, if you're an experienced player, why are you watching this in the first place? But secondly, I'm not worried about losing. If I was worried about losing, I would have thrown this game out a few days ago. And you know, if there's interest, we can always do a second playthrough using a different deck once we have all the rules down pat. So now we'll lay our 3 hero cards out in front of us, like so. Take the rest of our play deck and shuffle it up really, really well. Once we've shuffled it, without spilling any cards, we're going to place it right here beside our heroes. And then we'll get out the threat tracker. So this is really simple. We just look at the threat cost of each of our heroes. We add it together. That's going to be the hardest part. What is that? 29. And then we're going to put 29 as our threat level on the threat tracker. So now we just need to place our tokens in easy reach. We've got our progress tokens, resource tokens, and damage tokens. So let's just go over what we've got here. We have our player deck face down with space for a discard pile. We have our 3 heroes. We have our encounter deck face down with space for a discard pile. We have our quest deck. And to the left of our quest deck, we have an area called the staging area. We have a couple of cards here because the setup told us to put them there. We have our threat tracker with the initial threat set to the combined total threat cost of our heroes. And then we have some tokens. We have our progress tokens, resource tokens, and our damage tokens. Now that everything is set up properly, we can flip over the first card in our quest deck to the B side, and then we'll be ready to begin the first turn. So that's how you set up the game. Hopefully that was pretty straightforward. Now we get to move on to the good stuff, the actual gameplay. I hope you tune in for that. We'll see you then.